warm welcome to State of Business on our television. I am Samindri Jayawardene. Let's look at the headlines first. Prices of imported milk powder will be reduced with effect from midnight tonight. Sri Lanka ranked as top destination for winter travel by USA newspaper. News in detail. The Consumer Affairs Authority announced that the prices of imported milk powder are reduced from midnight today. The price of 1 kilogram packet of imported milk powder is slashed by 40 rupees and the price of a 400 gram packet has been reduced by 15 rupees. Prices of imported powdered milk went up in September this year by 50 rupees per 1 kilogram, while the price of 400 gram packet was hiked by 20 rupees. It was the second time the prices of imported milk powder went up within the course of 2 months during last August and September. However, the Consumer Affairs Authority announced that the prices of imported milk powder have been reduced from midnight today, owing to recently added tax concessions. Colombo Stock Exchange today suspends one broking firm from purchasing securities for 1 day, taking a disciplinary action against the firm. Colombo Stock Exchange has prohibited a broking firm from purchasing securities for a day as disciplinary action for an unspecified breach of rules. Bartlett Religia Securities Private Limited has been prohibited from buying shares for clients and on its own account tomorrow under Section 11 of Stockbroker Rules. An official from the Colombo Stock Exchange said that CSE Board of Directors decided to prohibit BMS from carrying out purchase of securities on the automated trading system of the CSE on behalf of its client and own account on Tuesday, 10th December 2019. He further clarified that as per the CSE rules and regulations, the board can impose sanctions ranging from a warning letter to trading prohibitions, suspend or terminate the membership. Sri Lanka is ranked as the top destination among 20 countries for winter travel by international distributed American daily newspaper USA Today. The list, which includes Galapagos Islands, Dubai in United Arab Emirates, Hanoi in Vietnam, St. Lucia, Koh Samui in Thailand, and Lima in Peru, targets people seeking to escape the cold weather. Furthermore, USA Today says, open quotes, jet setters looking for something off the beaten tourist path should consider Sri Lanka. An overlooked gem, this exotic island in the Indian Ocean seduces everyone who steps foot with its stunning unspoiled wilderness, colorful history, and flavorful cuisine. Due to the proximity and a lack of crowds, it's possible to pack a lot into a trip to Sri Lanka. Close quotes. Moreover, the article has placed special emphasis on Sigiriya, the golden temple of Dambulla, and the tea plantations in Sri Lanka. Significantly, Sri Lanka has ranked the top, surpassing countries like Dubai, which has over the past 3 decades exploded into an international hub of business and tourism. Thus, it is believed that these international applauses on Sri Lanka will boost its tourism and help rebuild the industry following the Easter attacks. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that new government is looking forward to continuing to develop friendly relations with China. Prime Minister Rajapaksa made these remarks last Saturday participating at a function to officially declare the 269 hectares of land reclaimed from the sea as part of the Colombo district. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and Chinese ambassador to Sri Lanka, Cheng Siu-han, and other government officials last Saturday participated in a function to declare the 269 hectares of land reclaimed from the sea for the country. Premier Rajapaksa, addressing the function, said that two countries enjoy a strong, long-standing friendship which has laid the foundation for practical cooperation. He also said that the government will speed up the implementation of cooperation on big projects, including the Colombo Port City and the Hambantota Port, under the existing consensus, and on that basis draw up and promote a new blueprint for future cooperation. He also stressed that he did not believe that Sri Lanka's engagement with the China-initiated Belt and Road Initiative amounted to a death trap, as portrayed by some media. He further added that Sri Lanka and China can easily discuss and resolve any issue if such a thing is arisen at any moment. Stay tuned for more news after this break. Welcome back after the break. Dr. Sujata Gamage, who is a policy analyst focusing on education and former Director General of Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission, says the examination system of Sri Lanka should be changed first in order to make the education in Sri Lanka productive for the growth of the country. She made these policy recommendations on the country's education system, addressing a recent discussion titled Beyond Campaign Promises Towards Meaningful Reforms in Education.
So I think the reforms, major reforms, before we talk about 21st century competencies, STEM anything, the examination system is what we should focus on. But right now, however much we talk, we can talk and talk, but nothing is going to happen because at the end of the day, what gets done is what is measured. And only thing that's measurable and assessed right now is how many pass the GCO level, how many pass the GCA level. And then the schools just don't have this time. They don't have time. They spend all their 40 hours in school preparing for exams. We need to release that time, 10 hours at least in a week. If we do that, then we can start talking about, how do we give these skills to the children? How do we assess? But this step has to happen. Without that, there's no point in talking about it, in my opinion.
Speaking further, Dr. Sujata Gamage stressed that there is a serious shortage of competent English teachers in Sri Lanka and that should be immediately addressed by the relevant stakeholders.
They actually can't speak English, and the problem is one of the knock-on effects of there have been more opportunities in the higher education sector for employment is that fewer and fewer people are going into school education. In the old days, women from elite families, they ended up teaching English in schools. We don't have that. We need to really make a push for our TVs. Our TVs, all the cartoons are dubbed. So it's not in the schools. We don't have the capacity to teach good English. There's a plan to hire 50,000 new assistants. I think we need to really focus on people who are, English, and they need to be animators and that kind of thing. For we had started primary, and I think we had started cartoons. For schools don't have the capacity to do English. They'll teach children to write, copy from the book. There's a huge gap. We don't have teachers to go into the schools and teach the English. The teachers who teach English, they don't know English. They can't speak English. They have passed exams. But I think it's interesting. It's a Muslim community who's going to be our bridge. Go to any government office. They have a Muslim officer who is actually the interface for anybody who wants, if there's somebody, foreign people come, you get that guy to interact. Really, Muslims can play a really important bridging role. The Muslim community actually is, the English fluency is, but the rest of the country, it's dead.
The Ministry of Health informs that it has taken steps to introduce a bacteria called Wolbachia to control the dengue mosquitoes. Thus, the ministry has decided to release the Wolbachia bacteria to the environment from next February. Accordingly, after years of laboratory testing and field testing, Australia was the first country in the world to release the Wolbachia bacteria to control the mosquito-borne diseases, and since then no dengue case has been reported in Australia for the last 8 years. The bacteria is being used successfully in 12 countries including Brazil, Colombia, Indonesia, the Pacific Islands, Vietnam, India and Mexico. When the yellow fever mosquito, which spreads dengue fever, carry Wolbachia, the bacteria competes with viruses like dengue, Zika, chikungunya, and yellow fever, reducing the transmission of the virus to diseases. Thus, Ministry of Health aims to release the Wolbachia bacteria to the environment from next February, and the pilot project is to be carried out in central Colombo and Nugegoda in February. Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Paba Palihavadan added that the bacteria will be released in 25 Gramanildar divisions around Colombo. Hambantota District UPFA parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa stresses that the numbers of the unemployed youths in the Asian region is highly going up and the measures have to be taken as the individual countries to face the issue wisely. Parliamentarian Rajapaksa made these remarks addressing the international seminar titled as the Innovation Network of Asia 2019, which was held at Jakarta in Indonesia recently.
When you talk about Asia, Asia has 700 million youth as it is now. But yet, we should not forget that we have the highest number of unemployment rate in the world. Also, epidemic diseases and extreme poverty are the challenges that Asia has to face. This is something that the regional leaders should understand. Ladies and gentlemen, the youth aspirations are dying and it keeps on changing. Youth today is not going to be tomorrow. This is something that we all should understand. Ladies and gentlemen, every good thing has to come to an end. I believe the world also never ends. Even if it's a journey of 1,000 miles, one step at a time. I believe we have already stepped as a country into the first step of creating innovative world of youth.
Stay tuned for stock updates after this break. Welcome back after the break. Trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 45.94 points to close at 6,103.63 and the SLP SL20 dropped 25.96 points to close at 2,974.47. The turnover was 435 million rupees and over 18 million shares were traded. Up next are forex trades. That's all news for today. Do join us tomorrow with State of Business. Until then, take care. Good night.